Hi Ludwig, my name is Plat. I made a video about your climb about a month and a half, maybe 2 months ago. I didn't really think that I was going to make a second video, but because a lot of what I said has kind of come true, and it seems like we've tapered off in our climb, I thought I'd at least make a closing video for the season as it's kind of coming to an end and what I hope to see. So, the couple things that jump out, in my first video we talked about the laws of climbing, and we talked about win rate, and we talked about what champions he was playing and all of that. So a couple of things have changed here. What we're seeing is we're seeing a lot more games, and we're seeing a lower percent win rate, which tells me two things. One, that you've played enough games to basically have an idea of what your proper rank is. And really, you've kind of ended up where I thought you'd end up, in that high silver, low gold kind of envelope. That is kind of where you have set your roots in. The other thing that we're noticing is you switched off Fiddle and you went purely to Amumu, which I actually do like. I think Amumu is a little bit of an easier champion to play. I think that you are going to have an easier time just understanding him, learning basic mechanics, and learning how to play the game properly. When we look at your Fiddlesticks, we are seeing a lower percent win rate. We still are seeing a lot of games. Again, I don't think you're a bad Fiddlesticks. Do I think you could have climbed with him? Absolutely. I think that you could have made gold with him for sure. However, I do think playing Amumu is going to teach you more about the game in the long run. The next couple things that we do actually end up seeing is we're going to see batches like this. This is like super common for what's going on with Ludwig right now. Is we're seeing these big batches of losses all at once. Where before we were kind of seeing some interspersed. We weren't seeing massive loss streaks. But now loss streaks are kind of the normal, and win streaks are also the normal. So when we look here, I mean, look at this. We're having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 games, then a win, and then another loss. So you're going over 8 games, you're losing 7. Right? Now, is that a mechanical problem? Is that rule of thirds problem? It can be a mix of both, but realistically, we're seeing large batches of wins and losses like that. Again, we're going to see another bender of losses. Then we're going to see a big bender of wins, right? Like, if we look at this batch, and then we look at this batch down here, right? What we're ending up seeing is we're seeing streaks of both wins and losses. And typically, what that says to me is that you're mentally, when you're losing, you're just not making the right decisions. You're not making the right plays. You're losing confidence. You're playing different from how you normally play. As someone that suffers from a lot of this, it helps when you're winning because you're gaining a lot of confidence. And then when you start losing, it gets very easy to start losing again. And then normally what'll break it is you'll snap on a good game, and then you'll go on a nice winning streak tear, right? But if you don't have a good game for a while, you'll end up losing a lot back to back to back. The other thing we're going to notice is, all these losing streaks came after Perry, right? When we had that initial coaching bliss, I mean, here it is, right? We can even see when it happens. Look at this sea of blue, right? Whenever he had the coaching, whenever he had the confidence, whenever he was being told what to do, he was able to play really well. That's what we're kind of seeing here. He's doing really well. He's winning a lot of games. He had control of the map. He knew when to take objectives, all those types of things. And unfortunately, what we ended up seeing is none of that really translated to long-term success, right? He's not practicing what Perry kind of preached to him. A lot of the times he's going back to his old habits, and typically he's got a good early game, like an early game that could easily be in plat, but then his mid-game and late game ends up falling off. He makes a lot of bad decisions. So anyway, what's the point of making this video, right? The climb's almost over. The season's almost over. Well, I just kind of wanted to at least, get my 2 cents in here for how Ludwig can get plat. And, do I think he can do it this season? Probably not. There's just not enough time. I do think that he's probably going to end up in high silver to low gold. I think he'd definitely make a push for low gold again. But I think platinum's just too far. I think he's just not good enough at this point in time to get to platinum. And I don't think, in his mental state, he's able to do that. So, I think number one, what he needs to do is he needs to make better in-game decisions when it comes to mid and late game. A lot of his macro really falls apart as the game goes on. He doesn't understand the concept of taking towers. He doesn't understand the concept of when to get barons, when to get dragons, and what those offer. As a jungler, those are some of the most important things. I think mechanically, he is at the point where, minus all of his missed Qs, I think mechanically, his early game could easily be in plat. He could easily play with those players. It's just more games than not, he will get out macroed by those people. So I think that's like the number one thing that he needs to work on and fix is understanding how the jungle actually works without being told how it works. I think number two is mentally, he needs to take a step back and refocus. So when we talk about mentality, let me properly spell this. We talk about mentality. The first thing that we see with Ludwig is, especially when he was starting before, is he was blaming all of his teammates. It was never his fault; it was everyone else's fault. And we have seen dramatic improvement in mental. He has the mental of someone who wants to improve. But unfortunately, his mental is just not good enough, right? What ends up happening is when he starts losing, he makes bad decisions. When winning, he knows how to make good decisions. And I think this comes from mostly confidence. Is low when losing. Whenever he starts losing games, he'll get more passive, he'll get more timid. He's not sure of what he's doing. And that's why you see these big streaks, right? When he's losing, he's fundamentally not playing as good as he can be. And when he's winning, he's fundamentally playing better, right? So what he really needs to understand is that even when losing, always have that confident sense of mental, that you know what you're doing, that you're going to take control of the game, and that you can make the calls and that you know the correct calls, right? That is, as a jungler, that is one of the most high value skills you can have. Because guess what? You're in control of the majority of games. You control pace, you control when objectives are taken, you control vision in a lot of those areas. So being able to take advantage of that is going to be important. And the last one is have fun. I think this is the biggest one, honestly. If I was going to say any of them are the biggest, it's this one. He has stopped having fun completely playing this game. He is now just grinding, which is fine, right? You can absolutely do a grind and try to make it, but if you're not enjoying the grind, you're not enjoying the climb, you are not going to do well. This game is soul-sucking, it's life-sucking. When you've played nearly 500 games, right, and you're losing half of them, that's a lot of just negative energy. And when the wins aren't feeling that good and you're not really feeling any sense of improvement and you're just playing just to climb, you're not going to climb. That's not how climbing works, right? You have to play, have fun, you have to play to get better. So that is kind of where I feel like Ludwig is right now. Do I think that we can get to that ever illustrious plat? No, I don't. Not right now. I think it's really hard. I think that he's just not at that skill level. But I do think, I think he can. I think next season, he could definitely make that climb. I mean, he'll start in gold. Like, he'll definitely get to gold the start of next season, and he can easily make that push into platinum if he focuses on improving just general macro. Because his micro's fine. His micro's been proven to be fine. He misses a lot of Qs, and yeah, it's like really funny that he misses Qs and he's not hitting his skill shots. But to be honest, like, you could play in platinum and have literally zero mechanics as long as you make the right calls. And you kind of direct your team in what to do. That's all you need to do as a jungler. So, Ludwig, best of luck in the rest of your climb. I think that you have a really good chance at finishing in gold. So stay focused, have fun, enjoy the rest of the game, enjoy the rest of the season. Looking forward to watch you play more League. And know that I am cheering for you even though I am negative.